This episode of Internet Today is brought to you by Lumen Skin.
Well, yeah, we certainly will get to all the actual Election Day stuff, including news and updates from the hours that followed in just a second. And yes, we're aware that by the time this video airs, there will almost certainly be some major updates or changes to what we say. But we're going to try to get through a bit of everything before that happens. And I guess I'll just record something at home if we need to put something at the end of this video. All right, got it? Cool. Let's talk about the positives here first.
Yeah, let's look on the bright side. We have to say that yesterday was an exhausting roller coaster ride of emotions and experiences. And we have to start off by saying an immense thank you to every single one of you who joined us on our nearly 8-hour-long Election Day marathon watch-along stream where we were able to find solace together as a community as we watched the reporting roll in.
There were so many ups and downs. At one point, we were like, all right, let's stop the stream.
Yeah.
And then we went 2 more hours.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yes, as someone tweeted, they're like, I went and took a nap because I thought you guys were wrapping it up, and I woke up and you were still going.
Yeah. So big shout out to Shibby, Brandon, Chloe, Jordan,
and Jack.
Jack, for joining us.
But especially to Brandon Winfrey.
And
there were some big moments last night. We'll get to those. But we would be remiss if we didn't first speak about the goofification of America.
If you thought this was going to be a serious episode talking about all of the election stuff, you were half right. We get to it. But
the real news was literally watching a meme be birthed in real time.
Live.
And shaped and formed. That's right. We, along with our viewers, got goof-pilled almost immediately during our coverage of the election, thanks to an absolutely batshit insane observation from our good friend and absolute weirdo, Brandon Winfrey, who joined us on our stream.
Yeah, while watching the early poll numbers roll in from the state of Texas, Brandon chimed in and asked a question that, to him, seemed totally normal. A question where he assumed we would respond with, sure. You're right. You're totally right about that. I never thought about it. Like discovering the arrow in the FedEx logo.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
It was a question that would change the course of 2020 election night history. Mm-hmm. Not just for our stream, but for anyone who happened to be a bystander on the timeline, the Twitter timeline.
It's spreading.
Yeah. This was the question. Does the state of Texas look like the famed Disney character Goofy? Let's just take a look at the clip.
By the way, does Texas look like Goofy to anybody else? Like Goofy with a hat?
Goofy? Goofy? No, please draw it out for me and send it to me on Discord so I can show. Please draw it and send it to me so I can show everyone watching.
Okay, so Brandon did, in fact, draw out the image that he had floating around his brain because we were like, no.
Can you please explain it to us?
Oh, well, sure. Let me just sketch that up for you. And this was the result.
Okay. I sent it to you now. It's in there.
Okay, let's see. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, but it's true. The thing is, it's true. Texas
this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, Brandon.
No, it is not.
All right, let me pull it up here.
What the fuck?
Wait.
What is wrong with you?
Oh my god!
What the fuck is that?
That's Goofy.
What is that texture? How did you make this?
With paint.
I don't remember there being like a particular area on the left side.
I love that he thinks that like anytime he sees a picture of Texas, this is what he thinks of.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm not wrong though. You guys see
You are wrong.
No.
Yes, you are. You're wrong. It doesn't look like Goofy.
But you're beautiful. But this is the reason that I love you, Brandon. Your brain is a very beautiful place. I just don't understand it.
So yeah, clearly Brandon is a psychopath and deserved to be mocked for his absolutely deranged imagination. But what happened next was something far more unpredictable than the election itself. Our community, all of you, took it upon yourselves to take the next several hours to slowly but surely and quite beautifully
very talented people out there
go state by state by state, turning each and every part of these United States of America into the United States of Goofy.
Yeah. It seemed as though only a few minutes would go by before we had yet another visual representation of Goofy as a U.S. state passing through our Twitter feeds. I couldn't even keep up.
Yeah.
People were claiming these states left, right, and center, and we missed a few, and they were all
There
gold.
were duplicates, different aesthetics, like some of them quite well drawn by actual talented artists. Some of them so bad that you just gotta love them.
Yeah, a lot of them resembling the old Gooby memes of yore.
Yeah.
The Dolan Duck and Gooby memes from like literally 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But some of them, based on the way that some states are awkwardly shaped, horrifying.
Yeah, they really had to contort old Goofy
Monsters.
in
Yeah. It literally captivated an entire nation.
there. Uh-huh.
It certainly captivated the sometimes 12,000 people that were watching us live.
I was just hitting retweet on pretty much all of them. So my Twitter timeline, if you weren't clued into,
Deranged.
if you missed the actual like spark that led to this, you would have been extremely confused.
And we got plenty of comments of people like, what the hell is
going
going
on?
on? Yeah. We were ourselves hooked. And honestly, very impressed at how talented that you all are as artists. It's been a while since we've seen we get some fan art every once in a
Yeah.
while, but there's not too much to inspire it that happens, at
This
least
was-
recently. It's been pretty depressing.
Yeah.
This was a blank canvas for any artist to really work their magic.
It was like a renaissance of new memes. Like, in the dark ages, art and culture kind of stagnant. And then the renaissance comes along and, yep, it's all goofy. Always has been, kid.
Exactly. Yes, you guys are very talented. Even if the final output was a purposely disfigured cartoon dog, it was still done well.
Yeah.
And when it was all said and done, and the final states were finished, there it was. The electoral map of the United States of Goofy in all its glory. And even a bonus map that includes Canada, which looks like Goofy sucking his own dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are doing...
It looks like the little islands in northern Canada are like flakes of cum just shooting. Yeah, it's
and
great.
it went international, even though we told people not to. We said this is a U.S. thing only. Luke Garvey did Donald Duck as the UK,
As the UK.
and it also looks like he has a heart on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's done Mexico yet. but
I think one of my favorites was someone did New Mexico, but it was actually Arizona or vice
Yeah.
versa. Deranged.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Someone did one that's like, this is Colorado or South Dakota.
It's one of the
whatever you want.
states. Yeah.
Yeah, it was truly something to behold, and we did it as a community. It was active on Twitter, it was active on our stream, apparently on our Discord. They were coordinating, putting their maps together. It was a whole team effort.
Uh-huh. One that we weren't even aware of until the end of the night.
Yeah. For anyone on Twitter who wasn't aware of the live stream or the insanity that was taking place within that live stream, their timeline must have been the most confusing, unhinged thing possible on a night that was already confusing and strange.
Imagine dealing with a timeline of election results that are all over the place that you can't even pin them down. You're having an absolute meltdown. You're stressed. And then all of a sudden you're seeing your state or a state near you looking as if Goofy had somehow fit inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we just really want to thank everyone for this amazing highlight. It really saved the night from being boring, sad, unenthusiastic, and lame because we knew for a brief moment in time that no matter the results of the election, we still had the goofification of America to be proud of. And thousands upon thousands of goof-pilled members of our goof troop standing proud.
Yuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I submitted it to the r/map porn subreddit at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up to the post is doing quite well. People love it, even without the frame of reference.
My favorite part, and we'll get to their speeches, my favorite part was when Joe Biden was giving his speech, he was giving it to a crowd of people in their cars because of the pandemic, and everyone was honking, and everyone just kept going, honk, honk, honk. You are all amazing. You're way funnier than we are.
Yeah.
We were just sitting back enjoying all of your stuff. Anyways, as we predicted last night, it has been one hell of a 24 hours.
Yeah, it's election week, baby.
We didn't get much sleep at all.
I kept waking up every hour and just I open up Twitter, go to the news page, and be like, okay, whatever, throw the phone, fall asleep.
I went to sleep at around 3:30. I woke up and the light was coming up. I was like, what fucking time is it? And it was 5:30. And I was like, no, please, God, no.
Yeah, it was bad. I wasn't fully awake today until the afternoon. Up
Yeah.
till that point, it was just this horrible, unhealthy thing where I'd wake up for 10 minutes each hour, doom scroll for a little bit, then be like, oh, I feel like shit, I'm going back to sleep.
I was doom scrolling and doom eating. I ate more in the past 24 hours than I've eaten in a month.
Yeah.
Just disgusting. Disgusting.
I had a big sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Look, yeah, we didn't get much sleep. The unending stream of results and news has dominated our brains every single minute of the past 2 days. So I always say this when I feel like it's going to be a short episode, but it's not. Anyways.
We're 8 minutes in here.
But look, sorry that it's only a few topics today. We know that you understand. Let's get to what happened last night and in the hours that followed. But first, let's thank Lumen Skin for sponsoring the episode. If you're like us, you might be super stressed on the inside, but you don't have to look super stressed on the outside. Your skin has needs. If you want it to look as good as possible for as long as possible, you need to address your skin's needs right now. And we get it. You might not know where to start, but there's a company that's taken all the guesswork out of it for you. Lumen.
Lumen is on a mission to help give men the amazing skin they deserve through high-quality, expert-created products delivered right to your door. All of their products are formulated specifically for men's skin and made to target skin issues with maximum efficacy using top-notch ingredients like charcoal, green tea extract, and vitamin C. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good. You need good skin health, especially when you get older, to prevent long-term damage. You might think we're like 20 years old.
Yeah, a couple of spring chickens.
Yeah, but actually, we look great because we've been using Lumen Skin for a few weeks now.
De-aging.
We can feel and see the difference. Our skin is soft, silky smooth, feels fresh. I genuinely, I get a real, some people are into like popping, which I find disgusting. But I like exfoliating my skin. And their charcoal exfoliant rub, it's incredible. I'm like, wow, there's just crap all over the outside layer of my skin. I'm clearing it all off.
I might be feeling terrible on the inside, but it makes me somewhat happy that I can look good on the outside some days. Even if you have no idea where to begin, Lumen makes it so easy to find the right skin management system for you. You choose from different skin concerns to address, or you just pick up a simple starter pack for free. You deserve to look and feel your best, and here's where you start. Go to lumenskin.com/today-daily to get 1 month free trial of everything you need to start your skin journey at home. That is lumenskin.com/today-daily to get your first month free. So go to lumenskin.com/today-daily, support the show, support our sponsors. Now, Elliot, take it.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way right at the start here. As of the time that we're filming this, it looks like Joe Biden is probably maybe going, like, he has more paths to victory than Donald Trump does.
It looks really good as far as, considering the past 24 hours, it looks better than it ever has for a path to victory.
The biggest indication that Joe Biden's probably going to win is how absolutely unhinged Donald Trump has been acting all day, like even more so than usual. He had a string of tweets. Each of one was just literally lies. He claimed victory.
I declare victory.
Dibs on these states.
Yes.
So
it does look. Nevada is reporting soon.
Arizona.
Michigan came in. Wisconsin came in.
Yeah.
Those were both positive. Look, it's a lot better than it was last night.
The margins are very thin.
Yes.
He won Wisconsin and Michigan each by like less than 50,000 votes.
Yeah. So it looks like he's going to win.
Yeah, it's still, disclaimer, it can go a whole lot
Don't make me tap the sign.
Yeah,
Another thing from last night.
Yeah, don't make me tap the sign. But yeah, it's looking okay for Biden right now. It did not always look that way. Last night, yesterday, there were no shortage of nail-biting moments. And that stretched well into the night as the results poured in from around the country. Trump picked up some very vital states. Biden performed pretty poorly among voters that Democrats would have assumed were a lock for their party.
Yeah, worse than any other person before him in a very long time.
To be honest, the performance of Joe Biden as a candidate is, all things considered, pretty bad. Even if he does end up being the verifiable winner, because, I mean, you're running against Donald. Reality, it's the same with like Hillary Clinton. It's like if you lose against Donald Trump, you have no one to blame but yourself. It should be an undeniable landslide.
Yes.
And it's not. Instead, the margins are so razor thin that Kanye West could have actually been a spoiler candidate if he wasn't such a fucking idiot.
Yeah, if he had actually made those deadlines and promoted himself properly and didn't come off as a bit of a weirdo, he could have had an actual effect on this election.
He's already planning on 2024. So,
of course he is.
Yeah.
And we showed it last night, but there's a great video of him voting. And by voting, we mean he voted for himself and nothing else on the entire ballot.
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
Yeah. Anyways, states passed progressive policies while still keeping the race relatively close when it comes to the presidency, which was weird and also doesn't look very good for Biden. But it was definitely a big win for drugs last night. Which, that kicks ass. Arizona, New Jersey, and South Dakota, they all voted to legalize marijuana recreationally. And goddamn Oregon voted to decriminalize all drugs.
Hell yeah.
All drugs, which means that we are going to be taking a vacation to Portland as soon as this pandemic shit is finally behind us. And that might be a few years, considering we're still putting up record numbers for cases and infections on a daily basis. We surpassed 100,000 on Election Day. not great. This election is literally going to kill people. Florida, they raised their minimum wage, which is a little shocking because that state easily went to Trump. North Dakota elected a Republican candidate who died of COVID last month.
Congratulations, sir.
The blue wave didn't really materialize when you look at Senate seats. I mean, Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham, they did not get replaced.
Everyone that donated money to Amy McGrath, I hope you feel real proud of yourselves.
And also everyone who donated money to the Lincoln Project. We told you months ago that you were burning your money and not to support them.
Yeah, they wasted no time being like, all right, well, now that the election's done, here's what we're actually all about. Electing Republicans.
Yeah, one of the people that works for them like literally tweeted, well, we all knew that we weren't going to flip any actual Republicans, right, folks? But we told you guys that months ago and you didn't donate, did you?
Like the whole approach of like, oh, we'll just convince moderate Republicans to come over to us seems to have been a complete flop.
But it was a great grift.
Yeah, well done.
A very, very well done grift.
I hope this puts that whole notion of the like moderate Republican swing voter to rest, though, because
it doesn't
appear to be a real phenomenon.
Now you could assume that the millions upon millions, tens of millions of dollars would have been better suited at certain local races that could have actually changed the outcome.
And perhaps instead of appealing to the center, which doesn't
seem to be working,
you should appeal to the parts of your party that maybe don't turn out. Your constituencies that you need better turnout for.
Yeah. Also, if you need any further proof that it wasn't a blue wave at all, Susan Collins still has a job. Susan Collins of Maine has a job. Anyways, it was hardly the night that a lot of pollsters and established Democrats had hoped for.
Yeah. And Hutch.
Sorry, Hutch.
Yeah, I mean.
We goof-pilled him, though. He said he's like never going to believe polls ever again. He's been goof-pilled.
I mean, yeah. He has no choice. He was making some wild claims leading up to the election. I'm like, buddy.
You need to calm down.
You need to zip it.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of pollsters, there's absolutely zero reason for anyone to trust polls ever again. Like we just said, we were extremely cautious and said repeatedly not to trust them, with friends telling us that we're just doomers with PTSD from 2016. There's no way that the pollsters could call it that badly once again. But here we are. Biden, like I said, he looks like he's winning, but by razor-thin margins.
We need to march Nate Silver out of the country.
Nate Silver needs to be launched into space.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Tom Cruise, he's going to the space station. He requested one thing. Can I bring Nate Silver?
Yeah.
And then we need to launch him into space, but not to the space station.
We should give Nate Silver the Napoleon treatment. Like, give him his own island with, like, basically a tiny population that he can just do polls of all day long to his heart's content, but it's all on that island. It's completely separate from everyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, as the night progressed, one thing became clear, and it was a prediction that we, along with almost every other person who has a shred of foresight, could have seen coming. We weren't going to know the final results by the end of the night because a lot of states just couldn't or weren't able to tally the mail-in and absentee ballots that were submitted. But we knew that no matter what, Trump would declare a victory. And if it were close, that he would threaten to send the decision of the presidential election to the Supreme Court. And yeah, that's what's happening, buddies.
Yeah, even though he was like, well, no, I'm not pushing her through to do that. That's exactly what everyone saw coming.
Yeah, and my favorite is in Pennsylvania, stop the counting. Stop the counting.
Stop it.
And then in Arizona, don't stop the counting.
Keep
the counting going.
Yeah.
It's because each state counts there's election day ballots, there's early voting, and then there's the early voting that shows up late. And they count them in a specific order that's different for each state. And so in Pennsylvania, the early voting, which is mostly Dems, is the last thing being counted. In Arizona, the early voting, it's looking to favor Trump more in the last stage. So it's entirely based on self-interest.
Yeah, now let's just take a look at Trump's insane speech from last night, because it is the ramblings of a deeply desperate man who knows that he can't win unless he messes with democracy. Here you go. Here's some selects.
You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. We did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay? It's a very sad moment. To me, this is a very sad moment, and we will win this, and as far as I'm concerned, we already have won it. So I just want to thank you.
Okay. The fact that half of the country seems fine with doing a little fascism,
Just a little bit.
It's also pretty scary. Luckily, even pundits, reporters, and anchors on the right thought that this went a little too far and even said as much, but those statements never really carry too much weight and always seem like a way to hedge their bets depending on how things turn out.
Even Ben Shapiro was like,
You can't do that, sir.
that was deeply irresponsible, Mr. President.
Sir.
But a lot of people leaving out, he said that during like his stream or something, and all of his other co-hosts were like, shut up, Ben, you fucking dork.
Yeah.
He should totally do that.
Yeah, but even saying that, and Chris, was it Chris Williams or
Chris Wallace?
Chris Wallace said as much as well.
Well, Chris Wallace is basically Karl Marx.
But that's so they can point to those statements and say, see, I thought he was doing a little too much of the totalitarianism and subverting just a little too much democracy.
He said the quiet part too loud.
But that's just if they get called out.
Yeah.
And that's meaning at the same time, they're cool with it as long as Trump somehow gets away with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just plausible deniability.
On the other hand, Joe Biden's speech was, it was a Joe Biden speech. He told people to remain calm and wait for the votes to be tallied, all to the sound of dozens of cars honking their horns.
Honk, honk.
Yeah, we still got the goofy in the brain, folks.
It's
But,
never going to go away.
after the speeches from both candidates finished, everyone went to bed. And by went to bed, we mean stayed up and continued to doom scroll and refresh electoral college count maps until the sun started rising, because more and more votes continue to be counted in places like Wisconsin and Michigan.
Did you see, I was up in the middle of the night watching it when they, by police escort, transferred the mail-in ballots in Green Bay.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No. That's... Anyway, yeah, he won. Biden won Wisconsin and Michigan by the slimmest of
thinnest
margins. And those are probably going to be forced recounts. And I'm like, yeah, I would, if it was me on the other side, I would be also demanding a recount. That is way too close.
Yeah.
Nevada should be releasing their counts by Thursday morning. Pennsylvania should have more information coming out as we creep closer to Friday. But with Pennsylvania,
That's the longest one.
it's all of the urban centers. Probably favors Biden, but they've counted most of the votes, so it could go either way. It's going to be super slim.
Yeah, this week sucks.
Yeah.
But again, that didn't stop our big, wet, sad president from declaring that he'd won some of those states despite that clearly not being the case.
I declare victory.
He demanded that the vote counting be stopped, and he even sent his fail sons and known hog cranker, Rudy Giuliani, out to do press conferences about how they were going to file lawsuits and demand recounts. And his claims of Biden and the Democrats stealing the election by simply counting all the votes and doing what is known as a pro-democracy move is actually, unsurprisingly, sticking with members of his MAGA cult.
Of course it is.
As evidenced by the mobs of people who have been surrounding polling places, screaming at workers to stop counting the votes. And one man in particular who just had to lend his voice and his t-shirt to the national discourse.
I love this guy.
Brace yourselves for this one because it is too awesome.
As I mentioned, we are not prepared to give that number.
The Biden crime family stealing the election. The media is covering it up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering it up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering it up. We want our freedom for the world. Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is covering up this election. He's stealing it.
Where were we? What was the last question?
Here's what I love about this video. It was handled perfectly by everyone surrounding him.
Yeah.
They didn't do exactly what he wanted them to do. He wanted to be like tackled, handcuffed, let out, just physically touched in any way that was aggressive.
Yeah.
And they just were like, already saying stuff. Let's see where this
I
goes.
love how when it ends, the guy's like, so what was I talking about?
Anyways,
just
let's go.
not even acknowledging
And
it.
the guy just goes, all right, and just walks away. It's like that. it was the best case scenario because he has nothing to turn this on. He wasn't tackled. He wasn't handcuffed. He wasn't abused by the police. Everyone just listened to his bullshit and then went on with their day. And it really sucked all of the air out of whatever he was saying, which was just the ramblings of a lunatic anyway, but still.
The Biden crime family.
Yeah. It was big Laura Loomer at Twitter HQ vibes.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Speaking of Laura Loomer, she fucking lost.
Oh, yeah. So that was cool.
Get out of here. That's a great t-shirt, though.
Yeah, beer, barbecue, freedom. So many people just popping up with like Teespring links or whatever after that. We're just like, get the shirt here. But my favorite thing was that someone called this guy BarbecueAnon, which is, look, QAnon is extremely dangerous, but that's fucking funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
BBQAnon. And that's kind of describes a lot of the men who are attracted to the QAnon conspiracy theories. They,
Just
from what I've seen in videos,
darn upset.
resemble this man.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. Anyways, our stream is still up if you feel like reliving all of
the
that,
magic. It's still up there for you, and we haven't. I mean, it was PBS, so I don't think that they would. We were just using their commentary to talk about. And
yeah, we're probably fine.
Yeah, unless it gets like hit by like a copyright notice or something like that, we'll try to keep it up. But you should watch it while it's still up because it could go at any moment. But if you want to watch, if you got 7.5, 8 hours to kill, just leave it up in the background. We put ads on it. In the meantime, though, if you want to watch something that's more concise and constructed, we do have a new episode of Weekly Weird News, and we will, of course, have new episodes coming out later in this week. So watch both of those, and we will see you guys very soon with hopefully some good news.
Yeah.
And also probably a lot of crazy news, too.